What's going on, everybody? I am Zach Curran, back here with Tiny Green. And I got to start by saying, Tiny, I was here yesterday watching you film, and you did your predictions of the semifinals, and you went 2 for 2. I shouldn't be surprised, but tell me first, game 1, best performances.
Of the whole tournament or last night?
Give me last night first.
Last night, I thought in game 1, Jada Bonner, J Money, my girl, was tremendous, and so was Maddie Doran. Because if you saw their game against Neptune, you saw this coming. Because Neptune took the approach of locking down Kimmy Evans, just swarming and making a fence around her. And that required those two kids to step up. And I don't think 2 months ago those kids make those shots. Against Neptune, they shot him out of the game, bang, 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 bye-bye Neptune. And then last night, the exact same thing happened. Doran and Bonner went off. They were tremendous. They were the difference in that game for Dawn Capel. Now, Katie Rice last night, excuse me, did I not say she's a Power 5 player? Did I not say that? Now they're starting to all show up. They want to know when Katie's visiting. It's because she works hard, she's a gym rat, and most importantly, she has developed different aspects of her game. Yesterday, she put everything on display. The jumper, the defense, getting to the rim, getting to the foul line, passing the ball, skipping the ball to shooters, which was amazing. She was absolutely a beast last night in a losing effort. And don't forget, the defense she put on Kimmy Evans. Referees helped a little bit. but Kimmy Evans won her first game in her career that I believe where she did not get a field goal.
Yeah.
So she was outstanding. And I thought those were the keys to the game.
Awesome. So let me ask you a question, because you called the game correctly. What surprised you about game 1 last night?
I'm going to tell you what surprised me. More than anything, the fact that Kimmy Evans can go without a field goal, get in foul trouble, and SJV could still win that game.
Yeah.
And you got to give Sarah Capel some big time credit. Because listen to this. She goes to the foul line late, up by 2. I think it was 2. It may have been 3. First shot, she shoots an air ball. But then she closes the game by making the second.
Yeah.
Now that's just toughness.
Yep.
So those two things really surprised me about last night's game.
Gotcha. Let's move on to game 2. It was St. Rose Manasquan, right? Am I right?
Yeah.
All right, just want to make sure. First question here. What were the best performances of the game 2 last night?
It's not even debatable. There were 2 players. Well, first, let's talk about Dara Mabry. Because she was just ridiculous.
You've been itching to talk about Dara Mabry all day, haven't you?
Yes, I have. Because she had some filthy stuff going on last night. I mean, she did things that were just unbelievable last night. I mean, this kid has had a year that's been amazing. So she was great. Then you get to Lucy Thomas, who was absolutely sterling the whole night, shooting, passing, rebounding, defending. She was unbelievable. She was a common effect all night for St. Rose. And then, of course, Markham. Now look, Markham's a high volume shooter. She's going to take a lot of shots. She's going to miss a lot too. But guess what she's also going to do?
Make them run.
She's going to make a whole bunch. And she's going to make them timely. She was unbelievable with her timing. I don't know if everybody remembers her freshman year. She slides behind the screen, hits the big shot, and wins it for St. Rose as a freshman. Last night, she did that over and over. And I'm sorry, I don't know the young lady's name because Joe Whalen's bench traditionally is not that long.
Yeah.
He brought this kid off the bench. She hit the biggest 3 of the game, I think, last night to end the 3rd quarter. It was a huge, huge shot, momentum swinging play. So I think those kids were the stars of the game. But let me say this one more thing. The defense by Ellen Stahl was unbelievable because her 2 forced turnovers changed the entire game. Those 2 turnovers.
Quick question then. Better defensive performance, Ellen or Katie Rice?
Oh, man. Wow.
Putting you on the spot here. Sorry, Coach.
I'm going to say Ellen. I'll tell you why.
Okay.
Katie Rice did a great job against Kimmy Evans, but let's be honest, that's 3 or 4 people not Kimmy Evans, all right?
Yeah.
Ellen's was better because it was just her matched up with her opponent.
Yep.
And the timing of those 2 steals, you know, you can't even talk about it. It was just huge. Yeah.
So then, last question on game 2 is, what surprised you about the game yesterday?
All right. Here's what surprised me. One, Manasquan's been great out of timeouts all year.
Yep.
Their last 3 years, when they come out of timeouts, they make you pay. Yesterday, the 5-second count was brutal. It was brutal.
Yeah.
Because I believe that there's a situation where somebody has to call timeout.
Yeah.
That was a brutal. You're down by 2, you have the ball, and you get a 5-second
Big
count.
swing.
Big swing. And then, this really shocked me. Dara Mabry gets out in space. She's all alone. There's 10 seconds left. I think they definitely had numbers. She's going to the rim to score, or she's pulling up. Somebody called the timeout.
Yeah.
You can't call a timeout when the kid's in transition, especially when they're in space.
Yeah.
But then again, this is shocking because Manasquan has been so good in late situations. You know how many late games they won this year? They won so many games down the stretch late.
You just didn't anticipate that happening to them.
Didn't anticipate it because then, with 4 seconds left, they call a timeout. They come out of the timeout. It's a 25-foot 3-point shot.
Yeah.
Like,
Not what you'd expect.
not what you expect. And then the ball's not in Mabry or Lola's hands. They have never made those type of mistakes in a game.
Yeah.
So I know they're not happy.
Yep.
They're not happy. But that was the biggest surprise to me.
No question.
And it was one other surprise to me as well. Nobody wanted to close the game. Like, St. Rose goes to the line, misses free throws.
Yep.
Manasquan can win it at the line, win the game. Miss. The turnovers, the shot selection. St. Rose up by 3 with 1:31 left. Somebody drives with the ball and shoots and misses. So it was crazy.
Yep.
But at the end of the day, St. Rose proved that despite their schedule, despite not being what I would like to call battle tested, they found a way to win.
Yeah. A lot of chances to win the game last night. So now
Okay.
we move on to the championship game. Let's start with your keys to the game before you give me the prediction. What are the keys to the game?
Okay. Now I'm gonna take some heat from this, and I'm all right with taking heat.
I know you are. I know.
The first thing I gotta say the key to the game is officiating. Look at the players you're gonna have on that floor. You're gonna have Power 5 players,
Yep.
three on one team, okay? You're gonna have 9 to 10 Division I players on the court. Excuse me, this is a fact. 9 to 10 starting Division I players. 9 to 10 players starting on Saturday will be Division I players.
It's an unbelievable stat.
It's an unbelievable
That's
stat. Now, ready? You gotta have your best officials on that game.
Yep.
You can't have your typical high school official on that game. This is a high mid-major game. Now, Jim Danella, who's an official,
Yep.
he was in the stands last night, and I'm like, why isn't he on one of these games? Well, he's doing the game on Saturday. I mean, no disrespect to you, Mr. Danella, or anybody else. Jim Danella can't do a game on Monday night and come back on Saturday.
Yeah, right.
I mean, like, really?
He can do both.
Really, he can do both. You got to have the best officials on that game.
Yeah.
To me, that is the biggest key to this game on Saturday. We have to have an officiated game of referees who are used to high-level players.
Yeah. We don't want a game with such high level players being barred down by the officials.
No
Not at all.
doubt. Exact, 100% correct.
So then, second question then, what are the keys with the players? Let's take the officials out of it. What do the
Okay.
girls have to do to get the job done?
Okay, so let me say this first. St. Rose runs a college-style offense. Now, why is that big? Let me tell you why that's big. One, the average high school team does not see center screens.
Yeah.
Okay? Occasionally, they'll see a kid coming down screen, but they don't see the center screen. They don't see the screen and roll, the screen and pop.
Yep.
They don't see Markham coming off that screen. She holds the ball some time, and then she goes. And now you can't rotate to her, because why? She's been taught to shoot the floater, so when your bigs rotate, they're late because she shoots the floater.
Yep.
Then she'll get behind the screen and shoot the 3. Now if you double, she'll kick to Thomas for the 3 or Marsha Cano.
Yep.
So most high school teams don't know how to defend that. They're not going to get into sophisticated stuff like ice, but you're not going to get a high school team running ice.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen. You're not going to get a high school team saying, hey, double, zone up, run at it.
Yep.
They're not going to do that. So that is a real issue for anybody, especially St. John Vianney. But let me tell you something that most people know and are sure who've been around. If you notice, nobody runs ball screens against St. John Vianney.
Why is that?
because Dawn Capel always traps the ball screen.
Gotcha.
And now here's the difference. Maddie Dorman, 6 foot. Jada Bonner, 6 foot, right?
They run you
Kick,
from length.
that's right, they run at you. And then they have the foot quickness with Sarah Capel and the little kid, I forget her name, who can run and chase you down when you reverse the ball. So it's going to be interesting to see how Whalen adjusts to somebody who actually knows how to handle the ball screens.
Yeah.
And let me tell you something. Don't tell me that Dawn may not try some nice stuff because she's capable of doing that.
No question.
She's capable of doing that. So I think you're going to have a real interesting chess game there between Dawn and Joelle.
I know you're excited to see those two, Coach. I know you're excited.
I can't wait!
Give me the prediction. What's the final score? Who wins it?
Okay.
You haven't, mind you, everybody, Tiny has not missed a prediction this entire tournament.
I have not.
So you can take this to the bank. This is a guarantee.
I have not missed a game all year.
So everyone listen closely on this one. What we got, Coach?
All right. So here's what I'm going to say. This should be a great game. Okay? But St. Rose has got all veterans. Every single kid in that starting five has been and seen it all.
Yep.
They've won big games. Now, SJV lost 4 Division I players. All, by the way, being incredibly successful at the next level. Remember that, because that's a Dawn Capel thing, SJV thing. They go to college and they kick booty, all right? But they just started playing their best basketball now.
Yep.
Jada Bonner now has stepped up. Sarah has stepped up. Maddie Doran has stepped up. Dobrinsky and Evans are the only players who have what I would call battle-tested experience. Sarah Capel played in big games, but remember, she was a role player.
Yeah.
Kelly Campbell and those kids ran that team. Now we're asking her on the biggest stage of all, because this is the biggest championship there is. Don't tell me about the TOC, okay? Because this title is the hardest one to win. We've had teams win the TOC and not win the SCT. We have seen teams not win the SCT and make it to the TOC. That's the hardest thing to win. We're asking that group of kids, young kids, to step in and win on that stage. I think that's a lot, but here's what I think. I think there's nothing like Kimmy Evans. I don't think there's anything like him. And I think it'll be very hard for St. Rose to change on one night and do what RBC did, front, double up. Joe Whalen's going to play it straight up.
Yep.
And I think that could be a problem for them. Now last year, SJV beat them with an experienced team. But remember this, those guards last year for SJV, Pino, Campbell, man, they got after those St. Rose guards. How much did they get after them? They had to use their big players to advance the ball up the court last year. They had nobody on their team outside of those bigs who could advance the ball. SJV don't got those kind of defenders to shoot. They don't. So my prediction, I'm going to say St. Rose wins. I really believe that in my heart, but I am going to say this. I know I'm playing both sides of the fence.
A little bit.
Kimmy Evans is the deal breaker. Because once again, she's the one player on the court that changes everything.
Yeah.
If she has a great day, it's over. SJV wins.
So what do we got? Go and play both sides a little bit?
I'm playing both sides. I'm not making this.
It's up to Kimmy Evans. It's up to Kimmy Evans.
It all comes down to Kimmy Evans.
Yeah, it comes down to Kimmy Evans.
Kimmy balls out. I'm picking XJV. You think I'm ruining my perfect record right now?
You're not a crazy man.
I ain't doing that. I'm going to be perfect. I'm picking 1. I'm picking 2, baby. I'm pretty smart, aren't I?
Hey, we're excited here. Tiny Green, thanks,
My man Zach here. He's been
We'll
great.
see you guys out there, all right?
Good luck.